Hello, good morning, and welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday. My name is Michael DeMond, and I'm the CEO of WeMergeMedia.com. And today is Tech Talk Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I go live to talk about how small business owners can use technology to work smarter and not harder. And today, we're going to talk about something that I've been having to deal with, think about, develop a strategy for some time now. And that is particularly about hiring your first employee, and the payroll system and the HR responsibilities and all that stuff that kind of come along with that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. As always, I create these to be able to share my experiences with the people who watch Tech Talk Tuesday, who are small business owners and entrepreneurs who are going through similar growth patterns and experiencing some of the same things that I experience in my business. So about today's episode, one thing that I wanted to just kind of set the foundation about what my focus is with this episode and what it's not, so that I can set some expectations and you can determine, if this episode is going to be valuable for you. So I'm not going to get into whether or not you should hire a employee in your business and what tax advantages or disadvantages are associated with that. This show is going to be specifically targeted toward people who've already gone through whatever process they needed to determine this is something that they need to do or want to do, and then are at that point where they're trying to figure out a way that's going to make it manageable for them. So for me, being a solo entrepreneur who's been in single member LLC for all this time, I did not have payroll. I did not have benefits and all that good stuff through a through a traditional system. And I've just gotten to the point now where I've made the decision that, I do need to bring somebody on. Now, I have tasks in my business that I've outsourced. I have things that I've automated. So I've done some of the things that I can do externally as much as possible because I was trying my best to avoid going down this route. But I'm at a point now where, I look at some of the tasks that are within the company, and, for me, I needed to make this decision for a couple of reasons. One of them being that I need to be able to take the information that I've learned in the business that I've grown. And I just really starting to think about like succession and if I'm not here, what happens and who runs what and who knows how to do what. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of bring somebody on board for myself for in an employee type role to be able to start sharing those skills and sharing that experience and developing more capacity within the business. I have been growing and taking on more clients and starting to get a lot more clarity about what it is that we do and what we don't do and how we can serve the people that we serve in multiple ways. So I'm also at a point where, a lot of my clients are in industries where things are subject to change in a pretty quick and unexpected way sometimes. So I have some clients who work in public health. Things come up like we've just been dealing with the coronavirus for all this time, and some of my clients have needs that come up immediately. For outsourcing and subcontracting some of that work, I don't have the flexibility that I needed to be able to have somebody ready and to go when I need things that I need to quickly pivot in the business. So another benefit for me about having an employee in the business is that I have somebody who I know is going to be available and there and ready to roll when I need them to be ready to roll at a scheduled time so that I can schedule my tasks and schedule my work. So all that stuff kind of came into play with my decision. I will say for anybody who's at that point where you might be on the line and you're trying to figure out like, should I not, make sure you talk talk with your tax accountant or your accountant, whoever you make financial business decisions with in your business, and figure out what's going to be best for you. So let's go ahead and let's just start with talking about some of the things that I personally was worried about and why it took me so long to make the decision to do this. And then I'll talk about, what I was looking for in a solution and then why I chose the solution that I have. I'll also walk you through and just show you the platform that I chose and some of the features that they provide. So starting with the reasons why this has been a hesitation point for me. One of them was that, I've gotten very comfortable and used to just kind of managing myself and, managing the work that I've had to do. And I really didn't want to take on the responsibility of managing more people. I liked outsourcing and I liked using technology to automate some things because I could, just kind of say, hey, here's a prescription for what I need, go do that, or put it on automation, plug and play, set it off to go. But there's some things within the business that just require some human capital and somebody with a brain to do some thinking. Sometimes you need somebody to be able to bounce things off of. And, there's just certain things that you just can't duplicate, and which just brought me to the reason why I needed that human capital. So I was worried about that whole managing another person and all that other stuff. The other thing was that I was also worried about not doing stuff correctly. Like you have to know state law, you have to know federal laws, you need to know about taxes and unemployment. Like all of that stuff was just like, look, I ain't got to deal with that when I'm just doing it for myself. I don't want to deal with that. So those are some of the reasons that just kind of kept me from going down that route, because I'm just like, I'm not trying to wrap my brain around it. And then I didn't necessarily at the time feel that I was at the point where I needed that extra support to be worth taking that on and doing that. Now, you definitely should always consult a professional who does these things, and you can do so. When I started doing some research, and I look up payroll companies and HR management, and a lot of them, and I understand why, because they're in business, a lot of them are geared towards very large companies. So they are used to having a certain amount of employees that they have to manage. Their fees are based on having a certain number of employees in payroll. But I needed something that was simpler, something that was not going to be so expensive for me to run and operate. A place for me to start so I can jump into this arena, see what it's like for me to manage as a business owner, and then kind of go from there. So what that led me to is I went through and I had an experience with someone that I was subcontracted with who used this platform called Gusto. I'm not sure which one it is. So my onboarding process when they brought me onto their system was seamless, and I was pretty impressed with how it worked. I did put a link in the description in the comments here. So if anybody are, at that same point as I am, and you going through that, you can go through there. What's nice about them is that the fee is very affordable. So it's not like I'm paying like a whole lot of money to run payroll. If I run payroll, I pay a fee that month, and I pay like a per employee fee for what I'm running, but super, super affordable compared to a lot of the other platforms, and super easy. The onboarding process really, really impressed me because it really just kind of walks you through the whole process. So all I really had to do was just add my person that I was hiring on. It sent them an email and all the stuff that they needed to kind of go through, and I'm able to track the progress. Anytime I needed to check like state laws, it referred me to, hey, you need to send this form in. It generated the forms that I need. It gave me links to look up, like all the laws that I needed to make some decisions when I was setting the system up. And then the customer service was also great too. So before I signed up, I actually called them just to kind of talk to them a little bit about, how my business was structured, where I'm starting from, what my needs were. And I was impressed with the fact that they took the time to talk to me, walk me through, and help me make that decision. I also put myself in there so that I can see what it's like from the employee perspective and have my employees share their feedback. And both were great on both sides, from both the employee filling out the system and then as the business owner who is setting the system up and creating it. So honestly, once I made the decision, go ahead and get started, I had everything set up in just a matter of a few hours. And I would say a lot of that is because I was just reading everything thoroughly. It was sent offer letters that I needed to send. It gave me the documents that I need to report over to the state. Unemployment benefits, if you want to offer benefits, all that stuff is built into there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch over to a screen share. Y'all know how we like to do the screen share. And I'm just going to walk you through some of the features that are on there. I'll take you behind the scenes within my account, We won't look at anything personal. We'll just kind of go through just so you can get a feel of what the platform looks like and how it's used. Another thing that I really liked about it was that they have time tracking. So if you have people, whether it's for a project or whether it's for an employee, you can do independent contractors in here as well. If you want to provide like a timekeeping feature, they have that there. So a person can log in once you have them onboarded and they can track their time, clock in and clock out and all that good stuff. So let me just take a second here. I'm going to come over to the comments and see who's all here with me. In just a little bit, we're going to get through the meat of everything. And then I'm going to go ahead and answer any questions, concerns that you have. So if you can relate to the experience that I talked about and some of the reasons why I was so hesitant, let me know in the comments if you've ever been in that position. I didn't want to deal with that stuff, and I was just really worried about doing stuff wrong. But they made it so easy for me to figure out and to do the things correctly. So let me go ahead. I'm going to do my screen share. If you have comments, leave them down in the caption below, and I'll come back and we'll talk about that. So let's go to, let me make sure I got the right platform for you here. I'm actually going to sign in first. Let me sign in real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so here we are. I'm coming. 1 second. Let me just get in, and then, okay, cool. So we're here. All right, so let me share my screen. Screen share. Tab. Okay, cool. I got my other computer here. Let me just do a real quick check to make sure I'm sharing what I want. Let's see. Okay. Yep. So we're here. So right now we are behind the scenes and we're looking at the dashboard, and you'll see that I have a number of notifications and things that I need to do in order to set this up and get this going. So this is what I was talking about, where they've really gone through and were very thoughtful about, if you're somebody who knows absolutely nothing, guiding you through the setup process and pointing out the things that you need to do to make sure that you're in compliance with all the things that you need for your state and for federal. So here I have a checklist of things to do. It lets me know things and resources for my business. I have payroll schedule, so it lets you know when your payroll is coming up. When you're onboarding people, is really just a matter of coming in here and adding people, getting their personal email address set up in here, putting their role in there and all that good stuff, and everything is set to go. They did everything for me. So the person got the email, they were able to create their account and sign in. They can get their check stubs at any time. The first time I used something similar to this, I did so when I was working at a company a few years back, and they had an internal HR person and then switched over to a system like this, and we just did everything through the app or did everything online. One thing I did notice is like most of this stuff, like I didn't see an app in the App Store. So if you need an app, for whatever reason, this is right now is all web-based. I did not see an app for it, so you want to take that in consideration. Most of the time when I'm doing administrative work for my business, I'm doing it on my computer and not an app anyway. I think the only inconvenient part of that might be for the employee when they need to be on the go, and they can still use a web browser on their phone, so they can go to their Chrome or Safari and go and do that stuff, but there's just not an app for it. You can see here that you can add contractors. So if you're not at a point where you want to manage employees, but you want to manage independent contractors, you still have that flexibility to do so here. I talked about time tracking because, I have, in this case, an employee who's going to be paid on an hourly basis. So it's great that I was able to set them up, give them access, and let them do all their time tracking here. If your company is going to offer any benefits, so time off, managing that stuff. When it comes to expenses, depending on the roles that your employee has, if they're out doing business on your behalf and you need to track expenses and do expense reports, all that stuff is built into here. They have a number of third-party partners where you can have, what is this error message? Okay, where you can have benefits. I don't have any benefits set up in my company per se, but you can plug in and manage that stuff through here too. So taxes and compliance, this was the section that I was truly like one of the ones that I was most worried about, but again, if you have a tax accountant, you can always just kind of talk with them. Your accountant might even have a payroll system that they use. If they're not doing it for you, they might be able to refer you to one. So make sure you talk to them and include them in that decision-making process. But I learned quite a bit by going through this and seeing all the different forms that I had to file and where everything was. They did a great job of talking me through and walking you through there. You can manage reports. They have all these tools and resources for business, labor law posters. If your people people are working within your office, how to make sure you're complying with that and posting that. So as you can see, like everything that you would typically need to do to cover compliance and to cover things as far as payroll are here. The payroll process, I was pretty impressed with that as well. I was able to do that in just like a number of maybe like 3 or 4 minutes. All y'all really had to do, when I did the setup process, I set up my bank account and linked it and, chose a schedule of how often payroll was going to be. And when the time come to run payroll, all I had to do was just approve the time, set it to go, and everything was there. Employees get notified, you get notified, like everything was there. So I'm going to sign out from behind the scenes and just kind of walk you through some of the things on the website itself, so that if you decide you want to take a look at it, you can do so. So here, what I recommend checking out is like the pricing tab, for example, because I know that's going to be a question that a lot of people have. As you can see, the prices are pretty affordable. They start with a base price of about $39 a month if you're going to be having employees running payroll, that sort of things, and then $6 per person that you're going to run it for. There's another package here if you're just doing contractors. There is no base price per month because you are you're not using the payroll feature, but you just pay like a $6 per person if you're going to do that. They do have I believe I have the complete package for myself because I am doing the payroll. I wanted time tracking. I wanted more of the advanced features and some of the support that's offered within there. If you need to have like an actual HR professionals, people who can do that next level HR stuff, the stuff that a system can't replace, then they have the concierge package for that, which starts at about $149 and $12 per person. So if your company is small, it's still pretty affordable compared to something like, I think it's called ADP. Like I mentioned, those companies are used to dealing with hundreds and thousands of employees. Therefore, they have a different fee structure. And, it's not necessarily, in my opinion, at least, suitable for the small business. You can also come here on the payroll and more, and it shows you all the different features. So I did like that I can come in here for all the different features that they offer. There's a video, so you can get these testimonials from people, and then they can also do like these screen walkthroughs to show you how the system works. So everything is here. As you can see, as you scroll down the page, you'll be able to see what it looks like to run payroll. You can track the hours. You can do bonuses. If you have people who are on commissions, you can do all that stuff within here. So let me come on back. I'm going to stop the screen share, see if there's any questions, see what kind of thoughts people are having. I know this is a little bit outside of our normal marketing type stuff, but it's still based on helping business owners work smarter and not harder. And I wanted to touch on that because you, like me, may have been looking for a solution or will be looking for a solution at some point. So let's take a look. Let's see who's here in the comments and see if we have any questions at all. Loretta Camp from Tech Talk Tuesday. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in and happy Tech Talk Tuesday. We got Mikhail Daniels is here with us. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday. What's up, Carrie? Great morning to you from Illinois, tuning in. Yolanda, thank you, Yolanda. Oh, I love that picture of your mom. Happy Mother's Day. Favorite techie, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in as well. Yeah, so I know, Mikhail, you're over there running Glow, and I know you know what it's like to be like managing people and having those responsibilities and doing that stuff. So, it's good to at least have some solutions out there for that. For people who may not be able to have that internally or have somebody on their staff to do that. And you're right, Yolanda, that is a great problem to have. That's a sign of growth. I had to embrace, learn, and make it a teachable moment here with Tech Talk Tuesday. That's why we have these. Duplication, that's exactly right. I've been a victim of not duplicating for a very long time. And I'm now at that pace where I have to start kind of thinking about the future and planning for that. Chavez says this will be good for the future. I brought my family too. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome to Tech Talk. Good morning, Sandy. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Mike McCarthy? Thank you for tuning in as well. When did you realize it was time to bring somebody on board? I want to get away from designing and begin. Yeah, so, Yolanda, that's like, I went through that same thing. And what I've done, how I came to that decision was really started thinking about like the succession plan, what is my exit plan? And then also just being at a stage in life that I just want to have more time to do other things. So like lately I've been focusing more on content creation and creating courses because I know I have two types of clients. I have clients that want a high level of service, and then I have clients who are more hands-on, have more time available to kind of do some things on their own. So I'd love to use my time to be able to create the content that's needed, to do the digital courses and the online for people to kind of self-serve, but then make more time. So when I create that once and I put it out there, if somebody has a question, or if they're not at the point in their business where they can hire the firm for full services, I can direct them to some of those courses that they can follow and kind of self-serve and get what they need. On the other side, it allows me to then be able to create more structure around, serving people who do want that high level of service and are at a point in their business where it's just simply not worth their time to be able to do that stuff on their own. So because of the level of clients that I have who love having high level of service, I needed to expand, and I knew I needed to increase my capacity. And there's just some things within there that I'm doing that I know I could have somebody else do. So yeah, I can go to some Fiverr and I can hire some of that stuff out, but I really want to start like using the skills and experience and the knowledge that I've have to be able to build up other people. And this gives me an opportunity to be able to do that, so then they can then take that and duplicate that, as Mikhail mentioned, the duplication, to then help other people and allow me to be able to start kind of stepping away and just creating more time for me to focus on some other things. I'm in the Planet marketing. I have the travel business. I love traveling. I haven't done it in a long time. Even though my work is remote, I would love to just be able to be gone and only have to check in and not have to do everything. So I'm really, decided that it was time to get to that and expand in that way, just to create some more time, but then also to be able to help other people who can come into this and build a living for themselves. Maybe they want to work in the company, work within the company. Maybe they want to start their own company and they just need a place to start. So I'm mindful of that. I want to make sure that I added that capacity and that ability to the business. So those are some of the reasons that I decided to go that route. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Mikhail. I'm glad that you find this was awesome. Awake Joy, thank you for tuning in from YouTube. What's up, YouTube people? That's our show for today. If you have questions again, or if you're watching this later in the replay, go ahead and leave your questions. I'm going to come back and I'll answer them. If you want to try Gusto, or we're going to call it what we want to call it, there's a link in the description of the video. They don't charge you for creating an account and getting started. As y'all know about me, I'm all about profitable partnerships. So when I find a software that I love, then I reach out and I figure out how can we partner? How can we make this profitable? So this is an affiliate partnership for me. Anybody who goes to that link and when you run your first payroll, they'll give me a commission for making that referral. I suggest you do that within your business as well. If you have stuff that you love and you're recommending people to it, add it as a revenue stream. Profitable partnerships, that's business to business. Make it work for you. So awesome. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I'm glad that you enjoyed this. If you have questions, leave them down below. And then I will see you next week, Tuesday, on Tech Talk Tuesday, same time, same channel. Enjoy.